I'm on the big break. Oh man, this is incredible. Can you believe it?
Double D, D squared, Donatello. The most intense, interesting person I think I've ever met.
With 4 simple words, Don Donatello solidified his place in big break history.
Hold that thing tight!
His famous catchphrase would become the thing of law, often imitated,
Get it tight.
Pull that thing tight.
but never quite duplicated.
Hold that thing tight!
Pull that tape tight!
Donatello brought fire and passion to the competition.
Booyah!
And there was plenty of gamesmanship to go with it.
Donnie, still after you, Donnie.
Don't worry about it. They can't hit it anyways.
The antics didn't always go over well with his fellow competitors.
Can't decide you are not looking for it if it's a professional ball. You have to look for it. Guess this is their country, so they make their own rules. I can't stand that guy.
But love him or hate him, Don Donatello's legacy as the most fierce big breaker ever is hard to deny.
I said, I want Donatello for my partner right now because I like the guy that don't want to lose.
I believe that if you're gonna win this, you can't have any feelings for anybody.
You guys need to get a little game, jeez.
You wanna rip them to shreds.
Donatello parlayed his intensity and desire to win, sometimes at any cost, into appearances on 3 editions of Big Break. He took the finals of Big Break 2 to 20 holes, only to succumb to Kip Henley.
And that, it hurt really bad.
It's impossible to describe how daggone tough you are, man.
A guest spot on Big Break USA versus Europe resulted in further memorable hijinks.
Yeah!
Though not quite victory. Donatello was a shoo-in for Big Break's first All-Star edition at Reunion back in 2006.
I don't know very much about him yet. Laura had told me that Don is like the closest thing to Satan.
Donatello's rituals were short of satanic. But overconfidence proved to be his downfall in a heavily desired second shot at a big break.
I did not separate my pride away from my smartness.
Don Donatello, one of the best golfers to ever play on the Big Break Series ever.
I'm sorry to see him go.
The Big Break for 23 seasons. Spanning more than a decade, the groundbreaking series produced tour champions, Ryder and Solheim Cuppers, and of course, characters.
Hold that thing tight!
You lived their stories.
Yankee Doodle went to town riding on my wedge.
Now, catch up with some of your all-time favorites as we present Big Break, Where Are They Now?
Well, we go back, 20 years now and bring in Don Donatello. Don, it's great to see you. You are a name that is so much associated with Big Break. We know you now as a man who's been associated with the game caddying on the PGA Tour. You still play a little bit, but your main work is caddying. Back then, how much passion and a goal did you have for being out on the PGA Tour?
I would pretty much run through the wall to get out there. I mean, I worked hard. I practiced until my hands bled. I didn't have any sponsorship, so I was doing it all on my own, trying to raise a child. So it was a big part of my life trying to achieve the goal to be on the PGA Tour. I came close and missed by 1 shot at second stage of Q School to get the finals. And who knows? I mean, even if I would have won the Big Break, things could have changed with those exemptions into those Corn Ferry events. But I didn't, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think it was 4 Corn Ferry events that were up for grabs for Big Break 2, and you were right there at the end with Kip Henley. What are your memories of that show? You shot it in Las Vegas. What stands out in your mind?
Very hot. Very long days. You didn't know what to expect. Whatever they threw at you, you had to be ready for. And I kind of think I was good at that. And so those are the things I remember, the back and forth, like with guys, because there was a lot of guys on that season that talked a good game, but had never even accomplished anything in the game. So that's why I like to give them a little bit of crap, that they needed to get some game and stuff like that during that show.
Who got under your skin the most? Do you remember?
Well, my roommate that stayed with me, he was a baseball player, and they're a little bit cocky, and they think they can do anything. But golf's a different sport. I think you have to be more well-rounded and a different type of athlete to play golf than baseball.
That was Sean, right? Is that
Yeah,
the guy?
yeah. It was Sean.
Yeah, you had some good moments on the show with him.
There was a good one when he was taking his practice swings and he was throwing the grass on my chest. I didn't realize he was doing that until after I watched the show. So pretty funny.
And you said one of the lines that went down in big break history: pull the tape tight.
Yep.
People must remind you about that all the time.
They say it all the time out there on the golf course when I'm caddying.
Hold that thing tight.
Never thought that would be an exciting moment in golf at that moment. But as the years have gone by, I realized people remember that, and they remember Booyah when I made all those putts in a row, and I just kind of gave them a fist pump.
Booyah!
But you know what? If you didn't show that, you didn't care. You see most people show emotion when they succeed or do something really great, and that's why I did it, you know.
So the show aired for the first time in September 2004. That's when the season started airing. When did you realize you had become a character in the game because of the show? Was there a moment that you suddenly felt, wow, this has changed my life a bit?
The glass breaking incident.
I'll start here. Don, my roommate.
I go Don.
I'm going after Don. Donnie. Oh. Hey, your name's still shaking from those dimples. You go over there and look at it.
Just keep looking at those.
Oh, man.
I mean, thousands of people were writing on social media about me. And then I had so many people calling that they couldn't wait to watch next week's show because they couldn't wait to see what I did next. I didn't come on that show to be a jerk or arrogant. It just happened to go that way with how some of the things were playing out and how the interviews were just getting me more fired up, that people were saying stuff about me. So just kind of went that way.
And then you came back for Big Break 4 as a guest, and you went to Scotland for a short period of time. What do you remember about that?
I remember going over there, and I've been over there before, but not Carnoustie. But I was fired up because I still have a lot of fire in my heart to compete. And so to go over there, ruffle some feathers and hit some unbelievable shots and kind of piss some people off, I was excited about it.
Yeah!
I mean, made about a 35-footer on the first hole. And then the second hole, and I hit the flagstick down to a foot. They didn't like that I came over there to ruffle some feathers, but that was a lot of fun. Just because we played 3 holes, we were done, and then I played 36 holes a day at Carnoustie every day for 3 straight days and just had a blast. So that was a great experience.
When was the transition for you to caddying full time? When did you sort of think to yourself it wasn't going to work with playing?
I was caddying before the big break started with Chris DeMarco. And then in 2000, I worked a little bit for Andy Bean. When I got the call, I was working for Jay Williamson. And so I was working for Jay Williamson when I did shoot the big break. Then after that, I came back, decided that I was going to maybe try again because people wanted to help me out finally. And I did get a little bit of help, and I played for about 1.5 years. And then I realized that, hey, you know what? I need to take care of my family. This is really tough. I know I'm really good, but I'm not good enough. And so I started that about 2006. I went back to caddying again, and I've been caddying ever since.
But you did come back and play in the reunion show. So there was still that little bit of fire. What made you come back?
I liked that I was going to be more relaxed. I also liked that it was in my backyard. It was only an hour from me.
Double D!
And then maybe I had some unfinished business to take care of. And right after I won the car in one of the challenges, my wife lost our 4th child to a miscarriage. And I just didn't have the same intensity. The next day I came back, all I could think about was my wife. And wasn't focused. And if I would have just got through that next challenge, I would have been down to the final 3 people. And who knows? I know Tommy Gainey's a hell of a player, very accomplished player, but I really should have won that.
Family is obviously very important to you. What's the family situation for you now? How are the kids doing?
Well, I have a 22-year-old that has an 8-month-old little boy. So I'm a grandfather now, which is incredible. I've got a 15-year-old daughter. So 2 girls, beautiful wife. And yeah, I mean, it's just tough. I mean, I'm getting ready to be 55 years old and I'm on the road a lot. Don't get to see my family very much, but I'm giving them a great life. And I think that's what a husband or a man's supposed to do, take care of the family.
When you talk about your caddying now, what are some of your great memories and for you accomplishments in the caddy world?
Well, unfortunately, I've had 8 second places. I've never won on the PGA Tour. I'm shocked that I haven't had a player and myself win yet, but definitely have had a lot of accomplishments. Helping Webb Simpson keep his card one year, helped JJ Henry keep his card at Greensboro, made a putt on the last hole to finish 125 on the money list. Every time I've come in, I've made a difference. I feel like I'm a very elite caddy on the PGA Tour, and I think that's why I have a player that's being very successful. And, I've done a lot of things, but I haven't won yet, and I think that's what I'm missing now. And I think once I get that, I feel like I belong. But I know I should, but it's until you win,
Working with Alex Smiley, of course, on the PGA Tour, the player you've been with for several years now. What about your golf? Are you still playing quite a bit? Are you still competitive? Do you still have the desire to play tournament golf?
I keep working hard, and it's not easy when you get older. But I try to do the U.S. Senior Open qualifier every year. I tried Q-School when I was 49, didn't do very well. And those guys are really good on the Champions Tour. Really, my time is, coming close. You don't know what this game's got to give unless you try. And I'll probably never stop trying until I die.
Pretty.
Oh, baby,
That's the right yardage. That could be the $1 shot.
When you look back on the big breaks that you were involved in, what was the difference between, I guess, all three? One of them you were a guest, but 2 you competed on.
I'm around the best players in the world all the time. And what separates the best players in the world is not their ability to hit the golf ball. It's their ability between their ears. And I feel like I wanted it so bad that if I could have ever taken a step back, I think I would have taken a very large step forward, and who knows, what could have happened. But I know those are the differences now, and I wish I would have known them then, but I wouldn't be the person I am if I didn't go through those.
Was there a moment in your experience with Big Break that you felt like it opened a door for you that may not have been there had you not been on the show?
Well, it's kind of weird. It was very, very tough for me to find a job after the Big Break when I wanted to come back and caddy, just because everybody was noticing me more than the player, and the player's the one that should be the most important. So people were always hollering at me, pull it tight or double D or something. So I've had to kind of shun things. If I heard something, just don't even acknowledge that I even hear it, just so I don't make my player upset. But I definitely believe that it opened up a lot of people's eyes that I was a very, very good player, and that if I did pursue it, I could probably do it. I just didn't keep doing it.
Would you ever come back and be on another Big Break if that opportunity presented itself in the future?
1,000,000%. I'm a competitor. Even if I had one arm, I'd be coming back to try to beat somebody. If you've ever competed at this sport, there's no better feeling than looking at a person's face and knowing they're defeated, knowing that you beat them and there's no way they can win. That's why I love this game. It's an individual sport. It can really, really ruffle some feathers with great play.
So when you were watching the shows back, on both seasons that you were on, what was going through your head and what was your reaction?
Well, the Big Break 2, I'm watching it back and I'm going, what the hell am I doing? I was just maybe having an outer body experience.
Yes, sir. Signed, sealed, and delivered.
It was like, why did I say that? And then I'm looking over at my wife and she's just got her hands like this on her face. And I'm going, oh God, this is not good. But Big Break 7, I didn't really have any antics or anything. I was just, it's much more relaxed. I kind of knew what we were doing. Watching myself, the Big Break 2 was an eye-awakening experience. And I think that's why I didn't act like that on Big Break 7, because watching myself on 2 and 4, it just a little too much. And then I was on Big Break Invitational too. That was at Reynolds Plantation.
That's right. I hosted it.
And I had to play with Chip Finley. But playing with Jerry Rice the last day was really, really fun. Here's an athlete who was the best of the best at football, and how just a little bit of pressure can affect even the most elite person in the world.
What advice would you give to a future star of Big Break that was potentially going to come on the show?
Be yourself and don't take it for granted. I think things are going so quick that sometimes it's over before you know it.
Well, Don, you're a legend of the game. I'm glad that you're still involved at the highest level and right there with the best players in the world. And I wish you all the best. And I really hope you get that win soon enough on the PGA Tour.
Thanks, Tom. I appreciate Golf Channel having me back.